Welcome. If you're involved with clinical trial finances, you know just how much of a headache budget setup can be. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through a real game-changing feature in Edge, importing budget templates to save you, well, hours of manual work.
Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we? You're staring at this massive, complicated budget agreement, and you just know you've got hours of tedious, mind-numbing data entry ahead of you. It's not just a time sink, it's practically an invitation for errors to creep in. But it doesn't have to be that way.
And here's the good news. Edge has a really powerful solution baked right in. Its budget import feature is designed to save you an incredible amount of time, and, just as important, it seriously cuts down on the risk of those little manual mistakes.
So, where do we start? Well, the whole entire process kicks off with getting the right template from Edge. Think of this file as the foundation for everything we're about to do.
Getting it is super straightforward. Just 4 simple steps. You're going to head into the Management Hub, find the Finance section on the left, and then click into Import Templates. From there, it's just one click to get that blank CSV, that blank canvas that we need for our budget.
And this is the exact screen you'll be looking at. See that Download Template button? It's sitting right there in the top right corner. Go ahead and click that, and you'll have the file you need. Okay, now we get to the core of the task. Basically, translating your existing budget into a language that Edge can actually understand. This is where we organize all our data so it fits perfectly into that template.
Now you're going to want to think of this screen as your secret cheat sheet. You can find it right where you downloaded the template, and it literally outlines every single field, what kind of data it needs, and whether or not you have to fill it in. You'll definitely want to keep this handy.
Speaking of mandatory fields, to make sure your import actually works, these 5 are absolutely essential. You've got to have the specific project ID from Edge, a unique name for your template, the level it applies to, like is it for the whole project, a site, or a participant, a clear description, and of course, the actual cost.
The activity type is basically how you group your costs logically. For instance, itemized activity is for specific little procedures, while setup costs is for those one-off admin fees. Getting this right is really critical for accurate tracking and reporting down the line.
This field here helps classify your spending the right way. For most of your per-patient trial activities, you're going to use research cost. But for things like a feasibility review or monitoring fees that aren't tied directly to a patient, NA is the way to go. It's all about making sure the costs are attributed correctly.
So your source data, it probably looks a little something like this, right? These complex tables of fees, per visit costs, all kinds of different administrative charges. Our whole goal here is to take all of this information and organize it neatly into that template structure we just went over.
Okay, let's actually do it. Let's transform that messy data into a clean, import-ready file. This is where we bring everything together inside our spreadsheet.
And here is the beautiful after state. See how that works? Your data is now perfectly structured in the template. Every single row is a single cost item with columns for the description, the cost, the activity type, everything that Edge needs to process it.
Hey, you want a pro tip that's going to make your life way easier? Don't try to cram the entire budget into one massive file. No. Instead, break it down into logical chunks. Like one template for each visit or a totally separate one just for site fees. It makes the file so much more manageable to import and use later.
So once you've organized all your data into these neat little logical sheets, you'll just save each one as its own separate CSV file, just like you see right here. This gets them all ready for their individual upload into Edge.
All right, let's move on to the final, and I gotta say, the most satisfying step, uploading all your hard work into Edge and watching it all come to life. This is the moment of truth. We're back on that same import template screen, but this time you're gonna click Upload File. Then you can just drag and drop the CSV file you so carefully prepared.
And now, Edge does the magic. It'll process your file, reading every single row that you prepared, and in just a moment, it's going to create that new finance template right inside your project.
And there it is, success. Look at that. Your templates, like C1D1 and C2D1, they are now successfully loaded into the project's finance section, all ready for you to use.
And of course, you're going to want to verify everything, right? So you can just click into any of the templates you just uploaded to see a detailed list and just confirm that all your line items, from randomization to those specific lab costs, are all there and they're all correct.
Which brings us to a really critical piece of expert advice. Always test with one file first.
Seriously, before you upload everything, just import your screening template or your C1D1 template, double-check that it works, then go ahead with the rest. This one simple step can save you a massive, massive headache.
So let's just pause for a second. The key takeaway here is that by mastering this process, you've unlocked a huge efficiency gain for you and your entire team. What used to be hours of painstaking, error-prone work can now literally be done in just a few minutes.
And that brings us to a final thought. Because this process, it doesn't just save you time on one trial, it creates reusable assets. So the real question is, how could sharing these templates accelerate future trial setups across your entire organization? The potential for collaboration here is just huge. Thanks so much for watching.